Hello, my name is Roberta, Sunshine Robbie, and I'm here with Wisdom Activator 369 session. And the session today that we're here for, it's about meditation practice. And the aim of this session is to help you understand how meditation can help you, can assist you, in what ways, but also to help you understand what is that meditation, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that have tried and then they stop because they find it very difficult. But understanding what meditation really is can help you choose, right? Can help you create a meditation practice that works for you, especially where you are right now with meditation. So there's a lot to cover in terms of how can you make meditation work for you. So I would invite you to use pen and paper, just to write down, because whatever resonates for you is what is for you. So just resonate, trust. That first thing is to really trust what just came through and you felt resonant with, and use that. Yeah. A lot of the times we get that first impression, and sometimes we discard it, and it turns out it was correct. Our first impression of something, our gut instinct, our intuition about something. So I ask you kindly to really trust yourself. Whatever I'm bringing today is not going to be step by step. It's not going to be a process how to do meditation. What I'm going to explain is, meditation can be so many things, and I want to bring it out of the box. I want to bring it out of the box because meditation out there seems to be in a box, and that's trying everyone to fit into it. And it doesn't work that way. And meditation also evolves over time, okay? Evolves with you, evolves with your growth. So meditation is not always going to be the same. You might have phases where your meditations are very similar and you can find a structure to work with, or even a step by step. But eventually meditation will change gradually and organically. And it's about having that discernment and sensibility to understand that these changes are okay to occur. Because if we think meditation is a specific thing, when these changes are coming, we're going to resist, and meditation can become very difficult. So use your pen and paper to make notes for you, whatever resonates, and let's just open up this field of meditation and make it nice and easy to accept, easy to allow, easy to comprehend, and easy to flow with it. Okay, because that's what meditation is. Okay, so a meditation can be used for so many different things. Simple as calming down the heart rate, anxiety, even panic attacks. It can be difficult to get into a meditative state if you're in a panic attack. But by practicing meditation, it can assist you with preventing and minimizing the frequency, the intensity of these panic attacks, not only understanding what is actually causing these panic attacks so that you can work on those reasons, to assist you in uncovering what's really causing this. But meditation is simple as a tool that we all know. We all have used throughout our life, through childhood, used meditation, not even knowing. When you're learning new things, let's say you're learning to sew, you're doing puzzle, anything that brings your focus into something is a meditative state. Okay. Some people can sit and do puzzles for 2 hours. and pretty much have a clear mind throughout the puzzle. Just so focused on the puzzle. Or you can have 2 hours of doing the puzzle, but your mind is racing, going everywhere, spiraling, and that person is not necessarily getting overwhelmed, but because the person is focused on the puzzle, the mind is allowing to run through the thoughts, which then allow the thoughts to be released. So at the end of the puzzle activity, that person's feeling better. Yeah. And have you heard people say, oh, I like to do this because it helps my mind to focus? And again, that's a meditative state. So getting yourself into a meditative state can mean many things as well. So the feeling of zoning out, the feeling of falling asleep, the feeling of even feeling some uncomfortable sensations through your body. The understanding that lots of thoughts can be racing, lots of thinking processes can be going through your mind, sometimes emotions, and sometimes nothing. Sometimes nothing. You might even go to a space in your mind that when you come back to a thought, and that's when you realize you had a moment where nothing was happening. There was no activity. And both places, the thinking mind and the not thinking mind, is a meditative state. So we shouldn't be like beating ourselves out because we can't sit with a clear mind, because really the idea of sitting with a clear mind is the Buddha, right? And if you think that Buddha must have taken years and years and years of practice, why are we beating ourselves up to sit with a clear mind when we only just started? Yeah. And the whole reason that meditation evolves from sitting with a busy mind to a clear mind is because every thought that comes through during that period of evolution of your own meditation practice is a message for you, is a message, is your subconscious releasing information to help you understand, and usually relates to what you're going on with you at the current moment in time. If you're going through some tribulations, if you're going through a happy moment, if you're going through situation at work, situation with the family, anything, your subconscious is bringing information. Those thoughts, which can be anxiety, which can be fear, which can be sometimes even happiness, is your subconscious talking to you. So why does it look so busy, so, crazy in the head? Because we hold a lot of conditioning, a lot of programming, we hold a lot of fears, we hold a lot of understanding of what the world is around us from the moment we were born, the way we were raised, the experiences that we had. And any experience that you're having right now will be carried and attached to many other experiences that you had in the past, and how you perceived these experiences, how you had to find coping mechanisms, how you had to find a survival to get through it. And as we learn and we create resilience, because that's resilience, yeah, we go through every moment in our lives carrying more and more baggage of conditioning, limiting beliefs, thought processes, through our actions, through our way of being. Okay. And then as we sit in meditation, sit in silence with yourself, that's when the subconscious comes back and brings all this information. But because it's all jammed up, it's all upside down, left, back to front. It's not an organized way that the thoughts come through. And still that's okay, but it's not organized because it's like we amount all these conditioning, all these moments, one on top of the other. And now we're here on top of this mountain full of things to go through, layers and layers and layers. And of course, the thoughts are coming up and they're not organized, they're not. But sometimes it's good to let it go through. How many times you've gone to see a friend or family and you spoke about your problems, and all of a sudden you started to, as you were speaking, as you were voicing, as you're hearing yourself, you started to notice some perceptions of the situation, some reflection, some awareness, also resolutions, yeah, or realizing something about yourself, or realizing something about the person. You know, it's interesting, isn't it? When we voice, we simply just get some more information that we needed, and things in the thought process get organized. But through meditation, especially at the beginning, don't worry about time. Don't worry about, if you want to worry about something to focus on, is frequency. How often do you sit and focus? How often do you sit and go into silence with yourself? But not necessarily how long, because the how long will depend on many, many, many aspects, and it will come naturally. The ability to meditate for 20 minutes, 32 hours, 3 hours, it's all about coming in naturally to you. And even if you are able to meditate to 3 to 4 hours, some days you might not be able to sit for 20 minutes. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that your practice is going backwards. It doesn't mean your practice is, breaking down, because we are different every day. And the days perhaps you're meditating for 3, 4 hours and it's easy, you're connecting much deeper, and perhaps there's not much information needing to come up. But then those 20 minutes you struggle because there's a lot of information, and sometimes you think, oh, all of that's going on again. And all that information is useful, very, very useful. So I'll bring a little bit of my experience as I started on this meditation journey, because I think it might help with some examples. And when we do these sessions, it's very interactive. Through the chat box, you can offer your experiences, to complement what we're talking about, to also share and teach as well. I want people to come up and say, what, I learned this, and I think it resonates well with what we're talking about right here. And ask your questions, and let's unfold it together. Because it helps unravel the subconscious. The subconscious needs focus. The subconscious needs voicing out. And for you to really listen to the subconscious, you need to quiet your environment. It's just about quieting the environment, because when you quiet your environment, this is when you realize how much is going on in your mind, isn't it? And it becomes overwhelming, it becomes complex, it becomes tiring, and you're wondering, I'm trying to meditate, why are they not going away? But if you realize that these thoughts are actually going on at the same pace, at the same rate, at the same intensity, with the same thoughts over and over and over throughout the day, while you're busy, while you're talking to people, while you're driving, even when it could be creatively painting, singing, those thoughts will come through. So it's just because there is a busy noise, of your environment, doesn't mean that you're not thinking. You are thinking every single moment. We create hundreds of thousands of thoughts a day, and a lot of those goes in cycles. They repeat itself, perhaps in slightly different ways of expressing the thoughts, but they are repeating. So when I first started meditating, just sitting down wasn't comfortable. My whole body just wanted to not be quiet, to not be still. And I needed to move, I needed to fidget, I needed to come out of that. And I wouldn't last 3-4 minutes. And it was interesting because back then I used to think, how am I supposed to meditate for 15 if I can last 3-4 minutes with my head full of thought? And I used to try to push the thoughts away, And at times I could push the thoughts away, which only lasts a few seconds, and then he would come back with the visions. And I just felt like a losing battle. But what my subconscious was trying to show me and tell me is these thoughts are going on in your head no matter what, whether you are busy or not, whether you are working, being a mom, being a wife, being yourself, playing, cooking. It's going on all the time. And when I decided to really listen to my thoughts, to really allow it, first I had to listen. I wasn't allowing, but I had to listen. And I had to listen, and I didn't like what I was listening. I did not like. It was very self-doubting kind of thoughts, and everyone will have your own expression of those thoughts. It can be very fearful. It can be very worrying thoughts. It can be suicidal. It could be, we don't want to be talking about these things and get triggered, but it could be anything. Could be, lack of worth. Could be anything, right? But there's a pattern that you're going to pick up on these thoughts, and you're not going to pick up all the patterns all at the same time. You might have to work through a pattern first, which I'll explain later. And then as you work through them, integrate and change, and those thoughts aren't the type of thoughts coming through, you're going to notice different type of thoughts coming through. So your thoughts are your tools. Your thoughts are your tools to be able to understand why you feel a certain way, why you act a certain way, why you speak a certain way. And those are because if it's coming from self-doubt, for example, in my case, it would be like, no, it doesn't happen to me, it won't happen to me, or no, I can't do that. Or I'll cancel that. That's one of my actions, right? I'll cancel that because I don't think I can do it. Or I get invited to a party and then last minute I manifest a cold and I'm like, no, I'm not feeling well. I'm not going. Self-doubt. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily thinking in my head and really being able to hear and see those thoughts and understand, but it goes on blindly. It goes on almost like a blind spot, goes through it, and then it causes us to act and make decisions based upon those patterns. So when I was sitting in silence, besides the physical body not wanting to be there, that's why I kept myself busy. I realized the self-doubt. So what meditation was helping me understand, once I started listening to the self-doubt thoughts, and what I would suggest is not to feel guilty or shame or blame for those, because for any of the thoughts processes that you uncover through your meditation, because it will slow down your process of healing, of growth, and progressing into unfolding these things, right? Why are they there? How were they created in me, right? So it's truly just understanding, can you have thoughts that are not self-doubt? And absolutely you can. Otherwise I wouldn't be here doing this video. So it's one of those things where you uncover what's the driving force of your actions, of your decisions, of your choices. And it also happens that not only through meditation you notice them, but you also noticed during the busy times where you think those thoughts are never going through it, and then you start picking them up, catching them up. You're about to make a decision, about to do something, you realize a thought of self-doubt came through right as it comes, and then you think, oh yeah, they're here. No wonder I was going to cancel that. No wonder I was going to not do that. Yeah, because of this thought of self-doubt. So it helped me on a day-to-day level when I was not meditating to catch those thoughts, work through them, which then again it's another session, yeah, where you can learn how to work through them so that um you are evolving through them. Okay, you want to evolve yourself out of it, basically. And then another process come through, which helps you understand a bit deeper within yourself, and then you learn how you just learn the process of self-healing, but it's in another video. And so I was catching these thoughts during the day in my decisions, in my actions, and which then triggered me to make changes. Do I really want to be living in a self-doubt way of being, because it was limiting what I could achieve, what I could do, because I started to realize all my choices, how I was being affected by the self-doubt and how it was affecting the outcome. And when I was able to release, work through this self-doubt, understand where it was coming from, release it, I was integrating it with more confidence, with more assurance of myself, with more trusting. And as I was using then the trusting thought process, the reassurance thought process, I was able to make decisions and actions within my life that resemble that. And then, so what meditation did for me then was that as I was trying to shift and change the way of thinking, when I was going in meditation, if I catch any of those self-doubts, meditation can also help you go into affirmations. So you would say affirmations: I trust myself. Breathe and I trust myself, however you feel you want to do. But it's being able to then create that space where you are with yourself. And when you are with yourself, you can do anything you want. You can create anything you want. And what I decided to create through meditation, very intuitively in a way, was to give myself affirmations about the self-doubt. So good affirmations: I trust myself. I reassure myself in this decision because I trust myself. And I use that as a meditation. So meditation for me was very different, every step of the way when I'm uncovering things about myself and trying to improve, trying to change in ways that resonates more with me, that it's not as limiting as it was, that's more freeing. I use meditation to fit with what I was going through. Yeah. So there's nothing in meditation that you need to fit into a box, into a step process. Eventually you start creating your own style. And when you are working, which I call the 3D and 4D, right? The emotions, the thinking, the way of thinking, the limiting beliefs, these are all things that happened right here in this plane, in this earth, with your life in this earth. And then when we go to a space where we can meditate with our soul, I call it the 5D meditation, okay? Because we are able to kind of like leave this space, which is a bit dense, which is a bit complex, right? The space of of your earthly experiences, and step out into the soul level, into the higher self. Yeah. And sometimes those two spaces will work together simultaneously, but then initially, most likely, you're going to be here. Okay. Initially, as well, you could be very up here, way above your soul, completely spaced out of your body, completely not here, completely numb. One of the reasons I entered the meditation, because I realized I was very numb. if you ask me if my soul is in my body, I would say no, it's out there. It doesn't like my body. My body aches, is in pain, I'm hurt. It's not going to go there. So I was living life on automatic and very numb to even my own emotions. I couldn't even put name to emotions. So meditation helped me, go up there. Eventually started to bring myself down, and that's when meditation actually, I was more serious about meditation. But I did go through that period where I quit many times, many times. And then, of course, you have YouTube videos, meditation, which are amazing. Any guided meditation is a tool for you to stay engaged, to stay, to explore, to adventure, to even work with your own senses and how it feels for you. For any meditation, we create a space of desire. We create a space of manifestation, like with the affirmations. And it's very important to go with, when you decide to do any guided meditation, that you set the intention, you set a really good intention for yourself, so that if the meditation is aimed, let's say, for example, for healing traumas based on mother wound, right? As you go into this meditation with intention to heal the mother wound, something will be healed. Probably not all of it and everything, but something will be healed. Something will be shown to you for you to look into and, work through it, release, and make space for other things to flourish. So meditation is about setting intention, is having that heartfelt intention to go and sit with yourself. It's an act of self-love. But it's very difficult to see it that way at first, because when you sit with yourself, it can be uncomfortable. It can be overwhelming. It can be all these thoughts going everywhere in your head. So it's about being persistent. It's about doing it when you feel called, but also it's about creating a certain routine, like maybe one meditation a day is the one that you do as a routine, and the other ones you fit in as you feel called, because you want to have a balance between the two. Okay. Especially in the beginning, if you're trying to make into a practice, because meditation is all about exercising the muscles, the muscles of the heart chakra, the muscles of the physical body, the muscles of the mind, the muscles of the soul, the higher self, to all come together in this beautiful flow of divinity that comes to assist you, comes to help you. And, crystals, nature, water, being in water, being with animals, being with that which you love. Just being with that which you love are actually the best times to sit and take that time to meditate. And meditation only needs to be that moment where you just take that time for yourself. Okay? But let's talk about focus. I need to focus in my breath. So I'm meditating right now. I notice I just caught myself speaking faster and faster and faster. I'm very excited to give so much information. So many informations are coming through, and it's coming faster than I can put into context. And I want to be able to share with a bit more calmness in my voice. So I'm sitting with myself and I'm focusing on my breath. because I feel my heart rate is a bit racing. So I'm going to calm it down. And you can do the same. You can try. Just focusing on your breath in and breath out. Just give you something to focus. You can open your eyes and focus on a colorful lamp that's moving about. Or you can close your eyes, focus on your breath, or focus on the darkness in the eyes, the light that can come through the eyes. As you close your eyes, you can focus on anything. You can focus on a body part. And I can sense my heart rate lowering down. So I'm using meditation right now to slow myself down because I was really trying to catch up with all the information that was coming through. And trusting that the information will come out as needed. And that was 2 minutes. Okay? That was 2 minutes. So really, meditation can come at any time. You can call upon meditation when you need it for anything. And I feel calmer now. I feel more, I can speak a bit slower. So let's continue. So focus. Again, you can focus on your breath. You can focus how the breath goes in and out, how the belly moves in and out, and stay with that movement, just observing. You can focus on outside noises. It could be a lawnmower going out. That could be your focus. It could be the dryer. Yeah. It could even be a TV in another room. What it does by taking that one thing that you decide to do as a focus is to everything that's going on like this in your mind, just go shh. But it takes time. It takes a few minutes. And even to just stay a few minutes focusing one thing can be a bit challenging. But as you find yourself drifting away and realize that you just drifted, just bring yourself back and don't punish yourself. Don't blame yourself. Don't worry. Don't blame yourself for not doing it right, because that is meditation. Drifting, flowing, moving with the energies, that is meditation. So if you find that your thoughts are drifting, or you focus on one thing and then you drift from that focus, when you realize that you've drifted away, come back. Come back into that alignment, come back into that focus. And that's all you're doing. And every time you come back is a practice on itself, isn't it? Every time you come back, because you might not realize that you drifted for 15 minutes. You might not even be able to measure that because you don't know. Your eyes are closed. You're not looking at the clock. But I did test myself for that. I did meditate once with the eyes open just to see the time, see how much am I drifting. When I realize that I've drifted and I come back, how many minutes was that? And I couldn't even calculate that. But what I did understand is the more you come back to your focus, no matter how often you go now or for how long, come back without judging yourself. And I noticed that you go out of focus less, but when you go out of focus, you realize quite quickly, which then brings you back to focus. Okay. And then you're able to focus on more than one thing. So, for example, the meditation music and your breath. Yeah. And meditation can go along with anything. Absolute silence. Even with the ear ringing that a lot of people are experiencing these days. You can even focus on that. You can focus on music. You can focus on lyrics of music. You can focus on frequency music. You can focus on sounds that are surrounding you. Like I said before, it could be the air conditioning, very steady. Yeah, it helps you stay steady. So you can focus on anything. And remember that you'll be able to multi-focus, right? You'll be able to implement more things into your meditation eventually. And remember, it's all an evolution of your own meditation practice. So don't set anything to stone or extend it, okay? And then when you're focusing, when you're able to, work through your thoughts, when you actually find, you're going to realize that you really feel like a zone out, okay? Like you step out of something. That's okay as well. Again, don't judge yourself. These zone outs can mean so many different things. In my experience, this zone out is me coming out of my body, my soul coming out of my body, okay? And a lot of the times, because even though I was able to focus more, I was still feeling uncomfortable through my body. And people get uncomfortable with restless legs, itchy, fixing themselves all the time because it shifts that energy. And what's happening is just energy trying to travel through your body. When we have emotions, when we have thoughts, when we have any activity in our body, we are creating energy. And if those emotions and thoughts are of a lower frequency, when I say lower frequency, are more emotions and thoughts that relate to anger, resentment, grief, sadness, they're a bit more of a dense frequency. And this energy have to travel through your body to be felt, acknowledged, and released. And meditation can aid this process of healing, which is the understanding, the awareness that those emotions are there and those thoughts are there, creating all this manifestations in your life. They are very limiting. And then you're able to acknowledge, you're able to feel it through. Like sometimes you might have lost someone dearly and you didn't grieve, or didn't have time to grieve, or couldn't grieve because you're so painful. Years down the road, there's still a little bit of pain. So that can be healed, that can be felt through. And what we did back then was just to block the emotions, was to stop the feeling through the body because it was painful. So meditation helps us feel. Sometimes we have to be brave to feel that pain and release. And then it opened the space for you to input the self-love in that space of where the grief was. You want to bring high frequency emotions, high frequency vibration of emotions, which are happiness, joy, satisfaction, love, communion, cooperation. All these are like higher vibration emotions. And these is where, when you release the dense emotions, is where affirmations come in as well. Not just affirmation, but affirmation is one of those. So when you are feeling the uncomfortable, it is about being brave. It is about taking this step to feel and understand and trust. And this is a very good understanding and trusting key to take on board, because this is what's going to progress organically your practice of meditation, your self-healing as well. The emotions that we feel through meditation, through that, from a trauma, from a moment in the past that we're revisiting is not going to cause the same damage. It's not. It's not going to. You will feel the pain, and even with the memories, but it will not cause the same damage. That pain is asking you to be felt through your body and out, because we didn't allow ourselves to feel because it was too painful. We were simply protecting this amazing, divine, sacred heart that you have inside of you from getting hurt. But the heart doesn't get hurt like that. We think it does, but it doesn't. The heart can alchemize all this pain as we go through it. But we don't know that. And we do it the other way around. So now, as you revisit any moment that is not comfortable, is trusting that your heart can alchemize it for you. And you'll be surprised it doesn't take long. If you focus to feel, it does not take long at all. You'll be very surprised. And then you're able to use the heart to alchemize in that moment with yourself. Yeah. You'll be able to use the heart to alchemize those emotions, those feelings. The subconscious will say, thank you very much. And will give you more information of the reasons why that was there in the first place. Which gives you so much more awareness of your being when you're not in a meditative state. And this is how you are called to these self-growth, self-healing, self-evolution. This is where you start to see the things you want to change. I know. And we can talk about addictions. We can talk about behaviors. We can talk about rebalancing our emotions. How can we go through life and going through new situations without carrying all the baggage, but being able to have tools to go through these situations and not bypass it, but go through it as it's supposed to be, feeling without the fear of feeling hurt, getting hurt, really feeling it and getting to the other end with everything alchemized, done and dusted. Yeah. We have so many tools. We have so many tools to assist us to go through life knowing what to do. It's just that we didn't learn. We didn't learn young enough, I think. And if we were, as a child, if we were able to stay connected to our energy field the way we were, we would just be flowing through life. We'll be absolutely just flowing through every situation in our lives. But unfortunately, we fall into conditioning, programming that we don't even know it's happening. We don't even know we're being programmed, and we are, but it just happens organically. Not of the fault of anyone. And I'm not talking about traumas. I'm just talking about living in a society, under society pressures, religious pressures, or let's not say pressures, let's say boundaries, because each religion will have their own rules and boundaries, right? And these are limiting, very limiting to us. But as a child, we're so free. We are so free. And we work with energy at all times. We sense the world. We sense everyone around us. And we knew what we were doing. We just had to learn a conditioned way of doing things, and eventually we lose that way of being an energetic being, because we still are an energetic being, we just put it in the back burner. And this is where everything gets twisted. So when you come to certain times in your life that you realize that something needs to change, that's when you start getting in touch with that inner child. And that's when you start getting in touch with that which you knew was your true essence. And meditation helps you get there. Through meditation, because in the meditation moment, and this is, happens regardless whether you're aware or not, we are connected to all the versions of ourselves. And that's why we can connect to the inner child and do inner child work. That's why we can connect to future version of ourselves and understand the path that we can go to, that we can take, that we can explore. And even then, if you're able to explore a future timeline, a future path, it can change in the next minute anyway, because all the possibilities are infinite. And this is where meditation comes in this quantum soup. It's a space where time doesn't exist. It's a space where everything is one. All your past lives are right here, right now. All your experiences in this life is right here, right now. All your future experiences are right here, right now. And when you start to understand and feel these energies and understand what they are and what they do, meditation is unlimited. And this is where you fall into the 5D meditation, which is another video, not this one. And there, healing is magical. Yeah. So then now it brings me to a question that I know everyone has. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not hearing anything in my meditation, because we are told that meditation is where you find your answers, right? Right? Are you finding your answers? Yes, you are. Okay. The moment you doubt, you're not. And that's why I need to trust. Trust whatever comes first. Take away expectations. Take away that which you want to hear or see. Yeah. Because the answers are always there. And this is the expectation that you need to see visions, unicorns, dragons, fairies, Mother Earth, yeah, the divine, the skies, the expectations that you need to hear the messages, hear voices. You hear yourself all day long. Your thoughts are there, like I said right from the beginning. Your thoughts are running 100 miles an hour at all times. We don't notice until we go quiet. There's nothing else to hear but our thoughts. So you will be able to hear your messages, to hear your heart speaking to you, your soul speaking to you. Do you want to hear, light beings from other planets speaking to you? You will hear. You will see. Yeah, and the first thing is taking the expectations and self-doubt and all that. And even that is worked through meditating every day, being able to become aware. So meditation brings awareness, deep, deep, deep awareness. on your day-to-day life. So, for example, like I said, I was not aware I was carrying these self-doubt thoughts in my day-to-day life at all, until I was tired enough to have thoughts running through my head through meditation, to I decided to actually listen to it, because I was blocking it. And that's what we do. We block them so much that it's almost like pretending not to see, but we just block it and we're blind to it. But they're there. And if you look at the universe signs, that the universe also brings us signs to keep us in a path, to guide us. And we say, oh, I don't see signs. We're blind to it. Okay, we have too much congestion around us to be able to even see it. It's always there. Everything that you ask the universe, the angels, it's already there. It's just that we are not able to see. We're blind to it. And meditation will bring these awareness of where you're blind to it, so that you can work it on your daily life, on your awake state, which I call it, right? The awake state, the state that you are busy, the state that you are dealing with people, the state that you are being yourself, okay? Being that version of yourself. Because when you realize what that version of yourself is, then you think, right, I have a feeling that this is causing me limitation. How can I change that? And then the journey begins, right? The minute you ask questions to yourself, the answers will come. But we need to be open and able to see it. And the reasons we don't see it is because of these limiting beliefs. But meditation helps you work through them. And that's another reason why meditation is a practice that we do every day. It's not just a practice, but becomes a tool for you to release that which you need to release when it comes. Yeah. And I can go on forever. Meditation, I love it. I love it talking about it, because it has given me so many insights about the versions of myself, and allow me to make changes. For example, so many changes, but when you have a perception, let's talk about relationships, right? Getting triggered, which is another course, another session that I'm going to do as well. So why are you getting triggered? You just get triggered. It's automatic. And one day you get to a point that you realize it's not only automatic, but you're going to get triggered, and you have two choices. You go along with it because it's automatic and you get triggered anyway, and then you get fed up with yourself that you got triggered, even though you knew you're going to get triggered, or you avoid it, which doesn't help you, because, again, trigger is a tool for you to release that which is triggering you in yourself, so that thing doesn't trigger you anymore. So avoiding it doesn't help you. Getting triggered actually does, because it brings that awareness. As you realize that, you're going to get triggered, it's not automatic anymore. Think about it. Yeah? Because now so it's not automatic, it's manual. So you have a bit of control, you have a bit of a choice, you have a bit of a input to it. Should I respond to it? Should I not? You have that moment that you can make different choices from that trigger. And as you make different choices, you get different outcomes between you and that person. And that gives you a new perspective of what else is involved in that situation that perhaps you didn't see, because we're always reacting the same way through that trigger. And one thing that you're going to learn about trigger, if you do trigger mirror reflection session, is that trigger is, no one is triggering us. There's no such a thing. We trigger ourselves because we leave ourselves open to feel triggered. Yeah. And you will learn why and how and be able to work through the triggers as you get the triggers and release them. So the triggers are there, and then whoever is coming at you in a certain way that used to trigger you, it won't trigger anymore. Okay? So it's about us. We don't need to change what's coming towards you. So as you become aware of the triggers, you have that space to make different choices, get different outcomes, you get different perspectives, you get different understanding where those triggers are coming from and how it's affecting you, affecting a relationship. And this is how you start to make the changes, because you don't want to be limited to those triggers all the time. You want to have more freedom to be in a relationship where the triggers aren't even there. So this is where the meditation, going along with the daily awareness, helps you uncover and unfold what's behind all this, that blind spot, why you were blind to it, so that you can work through. And through meditation, you can release triggers, you can release blockages, you can release traumas. So it's an interesting way, and you'll be surprised how your meditation evolves and how you create your own ways of meditating. And you can create your own ways of meditating right now as your day one. Right now, when you start, you can create your own way. As soon as you finish this video, you're going to have a broader idea, because it's infinite, but you're going to have a broader understanding of what can you do with it. It's fun. And you're going to feel so much more relaxed. And that alone helps you fall into a meditative state. So what is a meditative state? Because I said, how can you be in a meditative state while you're washing the dishes, doing puzzle, but also be completely zoned out, where you don't hear or see anything, or completely connected, where you hear and see everything that is not on earth? Everything is a meditative state. If you go to the circus and you see the acrobats doing amazing things, and you're looking at it and you're going like, for the whole performance, you are in meditative state. You're focused. You're present. You're present with yourself in that moment that you watch. You're absolutely there. You might be surprised that there's no thoughts in your mind when you're present. The acrobat is also in a meditative state. It's very focused how the body moves, because that's what's happening. The skills, the techniques, the choreography, the speed, the weight, the spins, they are so focused in that present moment. Every single split second with it, that's presence. That's a meditative state. So meditative state is a moment of presence with yourself. Let's say you were learning to drive. Remember when you had to put practice into it, and it's something new, right? You're 16, 17. You've never done it before, so, you are learning. That's a good example, because when you were a child and you're going to sports, let's say, or dance, or anything that you can learn when you're a child, right? A child is very present. If you observe a child playing, they're very present. They're right there with the toy, engaged, zoned out from anyone else. You can talk to them, they won't hear you. They're not listening to you. They're present. And they're a child, they're in touch with their soul, they're in touch with their intuition, they're in touch with their energy field, they're in touch with the energy field around them. You'd be surprised. You could be observing a child, and let's say the child is in one room, you can see the child, and you are in another. If you're go into a emotional or memory or anything that triggers you to cry, to become upset, you'd be surprised how that child comes to you straight away. They'll stop because they sensed it. They don't need to look at you. They sense that that's presence. You're not just present with yourself, you're present with everything around you. And they're playing. That's a meditative state, the present. But when you're 16, 17, we could be in a state where we don't have so much of that connection so strongly anymore. So learning new things can be quite mental, a mental learning, right? Mental and physical. The mind has to give commands to the hand, to the foot, to put it all together, to coordinate, and all the speed of the car and all that kind of stuff. It's very mental. So if you compare, but you still have to be present. You still have to be present to be able to perform all that and put it together in a way that flows with more, congruency between the movements and everything. And this is where, presence is it's still present. But can you bring then the senses of the energies around? Yeah, energy about the weather, energy about yourself, your emotions. Are you nervous? Yeah. What are you picking up? So that's even more present, right? But you're still present because you're learning, you're putting focus. So really meditation is about being present with yourself. And I'm sure you've had moments where you were so present that something then disturbs you and you realize how focused and present you were then, but you didn't realize when you were actually focused and present. Okay. So we'd like us to just take a moment to, again, reset our energies. I like to go on my heart, because I'm going to talk about the heart chakra next. And this is another point of focus that can be used for your meditation. We have 7 chakras in our body and other chakras outside our body. And each chakra has a point of focus in your physical body. The heart chakra is the one that is commonly understood to work with meditation, but it's not the only one. And it's through the heart chakra that emotions are alchemized and healed and dissolved and liberated, so that when we revisit pain, we are not just revisiting, getting re-triggered, we are actually alchemizing that pain, from feeling that pain and allowing that pain to come out from whatever you shoved it down deep, to come out, to be felt, to be acknowledged, and to be released. And like I said in the past, in the beginning, this process doesn't take long, it's minutes. And that's why we need to believe and drop the limiting belief that we are going to get damaged again from going through the hurt. If we're meditating, we don't feel our heart chakra, it doesn't mean it's not active, it's not activated, it's not on, and it's not doing the work that it needs to do. Okay? And I want you to believe and trust this, because the minute you don't, then the heart isn't doing that. It is doing in the background, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you even knew there was a heart chakra in your body or not. Okay? So when you become aware of heart chakra and being able to connect, just remember to trust your own intuition through it, because a lot of what is said and written out there can be quite limiting for something that is so expensive and extraordinary. It's got such a infinite abundance to it. It's an energy of unconditional love. And to believe that, you need to activate it, you need to feel to make sure it's working, it's limiting to yourself, because it has always worked there, whether you knew it or not. And trusting that is the first step. And as we work through our heart, as we work through a meditative state in presence, as we are right now, presence with a heart, we're able to create this focus where you need to create the focus. Is it through the sensations that are coming through your body? Do we need to be the observer of these sensations? Imagine a little bird's eye camera on top of your head, looking down on you. Looking down on you, not to judge, not to criticize, not to blame, not to shame, not to guilt. To observe, to pick up messages, to pick up awareness, perspectives, different angles of how you see the world. Do you see a limiting angle? Do you see a more expansive angle? Does that angle give you more possibilities for the choice that you want to take? And right here, we're present with ourselves, with our heart, in a meditative state. I am speaking from a meditative state. And like I said, you'll be able to focus on one thing, then two, then three, then four. And soon, everything that is about being present, because it's multi-dimensional, think about it. Being present with your heart rate, your breath, your physical form, the position that your body's sitting or lying, the surroundings, the walls, your environment, outside the walls, the energies, everything. There's so much. And I don't say so much in a negative way, but it's so expansive, because it's all part of us. This is all part of us. This crystal is part of us. Can you sense the energy? At the moment, I can't. I haven't stopped really to give time. There's people that can just pick up and sense it straight away. Yeah? Energies of crystals. I can sense when I actually take the time, get my meditative state, and then I start to sense these things. So everyone will have different sensories in the beginning, but the aim is to be able to sense your presence. The presence with yourself, the presence with your soul. And from experience again, I will explain about my experience. I was able to stay present with my physical body eventually after releasing quite a lot of trauma, where each one of them kind of really caused a lot of uncomfortable density feelings in my body. And I was able to release. And the more I was given these opportunities to release, the kind of easier it got, because I trusted the process. And this is the beauty of self-healing. You do it yourself. Eventually you do it yourself. This is where I bring the activation to people to do it themselves. I don't teach steps. I don't teach processes. I don't teach bullet points. I show you all the possibilities. You sense it, you try it, you decide, you create your own ways. Yeah. Because you will remember how to do it anyway. You will remember. And this is what the activations are about, remembering how you used to do it. Because my experience was that I started to remember how I used to do it. And from childhood, we all think that inner child is about going back to the pain, to the trauma that the child suffered. But inner child can be going back to the gifts you already had, you already have. Yeah. So when you are growing within your meditation practice, expect that it can change in a minute. Expect that you can create different ways of doing it. And you might have different types of meditation that you like to do. Different styles, different different way of connecting to your heart, different way of connecting to Mother Earth. Yeah. The only advice I would say, don't get stuck to a script, even if you create it yourself. In the beginning, it's okay, as long as you're aware that it's only to assist you to create practice, to create a way of creating a routine or an adherence to it. But remember that script can be conditioned. And energy is different every time. When you connect to yourself, your energy is different every time. So how are you going to connect the same way every time? Sometimes I connect to my heart. Sometimes I connect to the root chakra. Sometimes I connect to my feet. Sometimes I connect to my crown. And I did use a script. But when I realized I was getting conditioned and feeling limited by my own script, that's when I had to jump out of it. And what I discovered is that simply sitting and feeling and sensing guide you where to connect. Because I could go right now into meditation. This is my sign in the video process, really, to guide people to understand that I'm going into a meditative state. And eventually you get into these meditative states much quicker as well. You find it's almost like you create a pathway and you're able to go into that pathway straight through. So as you connect and as you sense what's happening, you might find points in your body are more aware to you. You have more awareness of them points. I call them energy. Energy's there. And then you focus on it without trying to change, manipulate, or stop, or progress, or move. And you just sense and you just wait. And then the energy starts to move. You can follow. And you might understand with your own words, through intuition, that perhaps this energy is making you feel secure and grounded and firm. And perhaps that's how your energy grounds, and you followed it through and you went down. You went down. Well, this is how I ground. Yeah. People can ground through different ways. Wouldn't you like to be able to feel and sense how your body's grounding you? Because your body's so clever. Your heart chakra is so clever. Your soul is so clever. It knows what you need. You know, that moment of anxiety, and you think, can I use my grounding tools, my meditation tools, to calm it down? Yes, you can. And that's where they all come into place. Yeah. So I invite you to have a look at some of the other videos. The universal signs and synchronicities are very, very good for you to have a understanding how these signs are going to come to you and how to allow yourself to see them. I'm going to be delivering a part 2, which is signs and synchronicities on the 5D. So basically, signs and synchronicities can come to also not just guide you to stay in your path, which is to help you, even to help make decisions, but also to teach you about the quantum field, to teach you about the soul path. And this is where I am right now. The signs are, the way they're showing up to me, they're changing. And what they're showing me more is teaching me about the universe, basically. I'm learning about the universe. I've gone to a point where I trust to get my own answers most of the time. I do seek help. And there's nothing wrong with seeking help. If even your own tools, your own, your meditation, or your own tools aren't sufficing you, then it's time to look for help, because we hold, it's like a puzzle, right? Everyone on earth is a piece of a puzzle. And sometimes other people can carry things that they have already healed, that can be transferred to you from soul to soul, and assist you to make that healing for yourself. Okay? And that's why energy healers are here. Their energy healers are here to activate that message for yourself, to activate that vision for yourself, to activate that answer. And when I say answer, let's not go to, yes, you should do this. Yes, no, you should not do this. That's not what I mean. When I mean answers, I mean the energy that we work with allows you to feel the resonance of what you're asking, so that you understand if that resonance is what you aiming to feel in the future, for example. Like you want to, let's say you want to start university. Perhaps you want to know if this year is the right year, or that university is the right university for you. And with energy healing, other healers that can assist to help you tap into the energy of those choices that you're making. But the resonance only you can feel, not the healer. The resonance is yours. So the decision is yours. Yeah, we can assist or facilitate you tap into those infinite possibilities of timelines that exist for you, but we cannot, the resonance that you feel with each timeline is yours. We cannot manipulate that. We don't manipulate anything anyway, but we cannot, it's not something that we can create for you. And again, we don't create anything. So my work with energy healing is I really trust the intelligence of our soul, of our heart chakra. And as long as we are connected, it's all being done for you. It's all being done. There's nothing I need to do anything. I just need to be in my heart present. You be in your heart present, and whatever you need comes to you. But that trust, that trust within yourself needs to be there, because it comes with intention, and with intention comes manifestation, right? So there you go. Meditation is massive, isn't it? It's not that little box that you were trying to fit in and struggling, getting frustrated with, and quitting, coming back, and quitting, coming back. And the reason you're coming back is because your soul knows it needs it, and you're listening to that message. See? You're already listening to your own soul message. Why do you keep coming back to meditation if it's really not working? Yeah? Because it's your soul communication tool, and you need it. You need it. You're being called. And our minds is the one that is saying that meditation fits in that box. Yeah, you can only do this, you can only do that, you can only do that, you can only do that. No, meditation is the most free and expansive tool you can have, and you create your own style. And what I would say, if you only start with a breath, okay? Remember, in the beginning of the video, I was feeling rushed because I was getting so much information. I was speaking faster, and I was about to lose track of what I was saying. I picked it up myself with awareness. I caught myself with my own awareness, because that's what meditation helps us pick up those moments to make the shift. Yeah. So then what did I do? I went in. But what I ask you to do, take one deep breath, nice and slow. You know, when you realize you're feeling, overrun, just go in. And even just leaning back away from that space, just kind of like taking a step back, isn't it? That is meditation, because you took yourself out of that overrun space and you brought yourself back in. That's presence. And if you can only hold your presence with one breath, that's where you start. And you build up from there, without the pressure, without the limitations of what you'd thought meditation was supposed to be. And really, my aim in this session is to activate you into becoming aware of what was your beliefs about meditation, and see how much more expensive it is. And now you're going to have all these questions in the middle, because it's good to have those questions. Those questions is to bring your answers that you want, but also to calibrate from being here in a space where you had limitation of what you could see and perceive, to now having all these different new perspectives, and your mind needs to calibrate. So the questions are going to come, and I ask you to write them down. If you are participating live on any, another session that's live, I offer a chat community exactly for that, for you to still continue to have the support, the integration, ask your questions that will come after. It's just like when you go to the doctor, isn't it? You think about all the things you're going to say, you get there, you forget, and then when you come home, you have all these questions. Same thing. Just let's go in the community and have the support. There will be people that are practicing for a bit longer with their own experiences. They'll be able to share and help, myself as well, and support you and guide you. And we're never going to tell you how to do it or what to do it. Yeah. And sometimes just by sharing our experiences can bring a different perspective for you to make that perspective, that choice based on that perspective, based on your resonance to it. Yeah. So, like I said, these sessions aren't teaching sessions. These sessions are for me to bring expansive perspectives and awareness to help you find these questions, to recalibrate yourself. Okay, so if you participate live, we ask you be included on the chat community if you want to. There's no extra charge for that. If you purchase the recording, you can also enter the chat community. If you feel called, just get in touch and I'll send you the link. There's no extra charge. And just to remind how it works on Patreon, there's a membership tier, which is £3.69 a month. And you have member benefits, which, the date releases for all the sessions ahead of time. You get 50% off the full price for all the sessions that you want to participate. Of course, it's down to you. And it's £12.34. So you get 50% off that. You participate live and you join the chat community. You also participate on a live heart chakra guided meditation where lots of healing happens during that time, but it's a lovely space. It's we connect with our heart chakras in unconditional love, and we don't want to switch off. That's how good it is. And usually lots of healing comes from there. And again, the chat community is there to support you from these sessions. And we get one session a month, the live one. And then every Sunday, we get to connect from our own home space from a distance. So basically, we all meditate at the same time. There's no video, there's no phone, there's no digital, nothing. We just sit and meditate at the same time, which means all our hearts will be connected. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, because we set the intention to meet on a Sunday, 7:30 p.m. All the hearts will connect, and and this is where you understand about quantum field. This is where you really truly remember that you are a quantum person, a multidimensional person living a multidimensional life. And there's this distant connections that from the heart chakra without the assistance of video that give us so much information about this for us to take on our everyday life. So they are amazing. You might not see it that way yet, it's fine, but so much goes on in the background, and the progress of connection is very quick. Within a few sessions, you will notice how much easier it is to connect and stay in that connection, stay present with that connection. And the love from it is amazing. Okay. So every Sunday we connect. So you have those 4 to 5 sessions a month for the membership and the chat community. But then you have the option to choose which sessions when I have the date releases to purchase, which then you can purchase half price. And the reason I took the sessions out of the membership is because one thing is I'm very aware, because I went through this, is that being part of something that is being offered, especially when there's money involved, right? It's kind of like getting your money's worth or not wanting to miss out, the fear of missing out. And then we get ourselves busy with joining everything. And then we feel overrun, right? There's a lesson there. Absolutely, there's a lesson there. I learned a lesson. I learned a lesson to discern that which I need. Yeah. But I left it out because I find it easier for you then to discern that which you need. And then you can purchase the separate sessions. Yeah. And I'm going over them month by month, although I'll deliver them again month by month. So you have the opportunity to attend always in a different month. And you'll be able to participate with different people, right? So that's the beauty of it, having the ability to be there in a group with different people in every session, because the healing gets so amplified. It brings so many answers to ourselves and others because we're sharing, we're together, we're connected. So I think it brings more dynamics. And yes, staying in the same group also brings a lot of healing, not taking that away from anyone. And I love that connection as well. But when dealing with large numbers, then of course I needed to adapt a few things to ensure it's, doable for everyone. So yeah, I invite you to have a look. I invite you to, if you feel called, to sign up. And we'll stay in touch. It's a lovely community, and I look forward to seeing you. Any questions, please put down in the comments, and I'll be looking through them, responding. And if there's a lot of questions, I might do a Q&A live, and then that'll be much easier. Okay? So I send you love and light, and I would like to offer just a moment for us to breathe and wind down, and you can go at any moment. Okay? So just breathe. Breathe and just focus on that which you want to focus. And I send you love and light.